Welcome to the Rich Lady Revolution, redefining rich with Diane McKendrick. Hey, lovely lady, I see you. You're an ambitious, high-achieving woman, driven, passionate, and ready for more. More money, more impact, more freedom. This is the place where women just like you come together from all over the world to break the old rules and redefine what it truly means to be rich. Because being a rich lady is about so much more than money. Joining the Rich Lady Revolution with those two sisters is about more than the money in your bank account. It's about building wealth on your terms, doing what you love, with who you love, and creating a life that feels as good as it looks. It's about stepping into your unshakable power and purpose. This podcast, combined with my 5th book, is your personal invitation to step into your rich lady identity. I will be here to educate, inspire, and empower you along the way, to support you to cut the crap, do the thing, and be the rich lady you were born to be. So if you are ready to elevate your income, your impact, and your life, the revolution starts now. Hello, and welcome to episode number 258 of the Rich Lady Revolution, Redefining Rich. My name is Diane McKendrick, and I am joined today by Jo. Jojo is a very dear friend of ours, and I'll give a quick intro, Jo, and then you can jump in and share. So we met Jo at Tony Robbins, and if you listen, I think to one of Michelle's podcasts, she goes deep into that story and how Jo was played a pivotal role in both Michelle and my dropping into our feminine. So she's the founder of Kun Yin, and She Moves Society, which is having an event coming up that Michelle and I are keynote speaking for at the end of March. So welcome to the space, Jo.
Thank you for having me.
So good to have you here. And we were just chatting earlier before I pressed record. And I was like, I just need to press record because everything that we're sharing and talking about here is really valuable. And there's a depth and a multi-dimensional space that I feel like I can access every single time I have an interaction with you. So that's what I'd like to share with our listeners. Do you want to give us, a quick intro, who you are, what you do, why you do it, and then that will lead us into the podcast.
Yeah, so I'm Joanne Omer, and I am the founder of Kun Yin, which is Kun for Kundalini and Yin for feminine. So Kundalini is energy, and Yin is the feminine aspect of the Yin Yang. And so together they make Kun Yin, which is feminine energy in motion. And so I am the founder of that. And Kun Yin is a practice for women to connect more deeply with themselves, with their bodies, to bring themselves into a space of peace, calm, and alignment so that they can move emotions that may be trapped and stored in their body, move them out through their body in a safe and fun way, and that they can then get on and create all the awesome stuff that they want to create in their life. I am also the #1 international best-selling author of The Sovereign Woman's Way, which is a book that really I wrote as part of my own healing journey. And I wrote it during my healing journey as I was healing, and then I completed it as I was sort of coming out of that, in the sense of, how do I really experience a deeper sense of love with myself? And I didn't really know that that's what the book was about until I finished it. I thought it was about, loving others, and I thought it was about living my best life, and I thought it was about all those things. And what happened is that it turned into like a little manual of how can you love yourself more deeply and feel absolutely empowered within yourself and be able to live the life that you truly, truly desire. So,
Oh, I love it when you speak. I get goosebumps. I can feel what you're talking about. And, being a fellow author myself, often we'll start the process or start the journey and we think it's going to end up one way. But as we go through the journey, there's so many other uh, opportunities that are offered, so many other directions that pop up. And it's really beautiful to hear that's your experience as well. The expectation is here, the reality is here. And how do we flow within that to make the most of it? And as we were chatting before, like make the journey the most meaningful part So thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on here today. Let's start. You explained what Kuan is. Can you share with me what was your moment, if there was a defining moment, on like, this is it and this is needed, and I'm going to be the woman to bring this movement to the world or this modality to the world? Was that like a defining moment? Was a series of things? Like why Kuan and why now?
Oh, I feel emotional when you get me present to that because I was a project manager in IT. I'd worked my way up from a junior. I had, a six-figure salary. Um, I had everything. I've been married for like over 20 years. I mean, now it's like been with my partner for over 31 years this year, 32 years this year. And I had like the holidays and I had, all the things. And I remember being at an event and sitting and it was in Maui. It was a personal development course, retreat learning. And I was laying on the floor of the Ritz-Carlton, sitting on the floor actually, and I was moving my body in a practice. And I remember just what it felt like to be connected to myself without any worries of the outside world, without any concerns. I didn't have to be anyone except me. And it was like the first time I'd ever actually felt that feeling before. Like I never felt beautiful in my body. I never felt, and it wasn't even a conversation. It was like, you've got a body, you know. I never felt beautiful. I never felt connected. I never felt love for myself.
Oh,
And I remember I hated myself actually. I really, if I really truly look at it, I was totally disconnected. Like,
and would you say that that hatred for your body manifested and showed up, like you said, working in the corporate world and working really hard and trying to find that self-worth or validation or self-love in whether it's success or achievement? Was that your journey? Because there's so many ladies that listen to this.
oh,
Yeah.
most definitely. I was like, anything that, and I have this belief still till today, anything that I want to do, I'll put my mind to it and I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I was very much like that, right? Very much like that. But I also felt like um, my, how do I say it? It's like I was searching outside of myself for the answers. I was searching outside of myself, and of course, you're not going to. I didn't realize it at the time, but the answers are were all within me. And I remember laying on the floor and feeling this feeling, and tears coming down my face, and laying on the floor and going, "Every woman needs to know what this feels like. Every woman." And I remember saying that in my head, and I remember going to another event, and sometimes there's these moments that just hit you, and you remember them, and it pierces something, and you feel it in your body. Like you might feel it in the terms of goosebumps, you might feel it in terms of I've heard that somewhere before, or remembering, or like it really impacts you, or there could be a sudden experience of emotion. And I remember hearing these words on the from the stage saying there will come a time when the divine masculine will bow to the divine feminine. And I don't mean that in the sense of dominance and submission. I don't mean it in that way. I mean it in the sense of the feminine is rising. The feminine will rise and she will be honored by the divine masculine in an equal partnership and in harmony, in working together. That's the difference. And that is like the third wave of feminism for me, because it's about us rising and finding our voice, not through anger, not through the fire. We've been there, we've done that. We've been angry, we've burnt the bras. It's the time to rise in love. It's the time to rise with compassion and in oneness with the masculine in the outside and the masculine on the inside. And when I say that, for those people that might be listening that go, what the hell is she talking about? We have two energies in us. There's different types of energy. There's masculine energy and feminine energy. And the feminine energy is our emotional side. It's the side that connects to our intuition. It's the side that is that it's non-linear. It's flow. And then we've got our masculine side, which is our logic, our directness, our linear movement, our action, our doing. And we live in a world that praises us and gratifies the masculine energies. And so we've diminished, we've suppressed, we've pushed down those parts of us that are naturally us. It's innate in us.
The essence of who we are.
It is the essence of who we are as women, as those that are born in a female body.
Mm-hmm.
But so think about this, we've been born in a female body, but we've been recognized to be what the masculine is natural in his essence. And it has served us. We have created businesses. We can do multiple things at once. We can create incredible results in the world. We're great thinkers. We're great leaders of organizations, of businesses, of families, of structures. But when we have that part of us that we're denying or that we've taught that is wrong, shameful, weaker, unsafe, we are denying essentially a part of ourself. And that is an essential part of ourself. And so when you ask about how did the business, how did I get to create Kunyin? And I have to say, I set my intention 16 years ago. Oh, sorry, not 16 years ago, 11 years ago. It was 2015, right? So I set the intention then, but then what I did was I followed my heart. I followed my intuition with logic, but I followed it, and I followed the teachers that came into my life, the opportunities that presented themselves. And even though I was petrified so many times, even though I had no idea how I was going to make any of those things happen, I still held the vision, and I always held the vision. And my new vision is that, and I was actually just talking to my husband about this last night, is that that Kunyin, like the practice of a woman connecting to herself and to her body on a daily basis, is as common as yoga. So women say, I'm going to do my Kunyin class. That's what I'm going to do today. And everyone goes, okay, cool, no worries, go, off you go. And it's natural. And it's in every home. And that's why I also Kunyin is available for people at any level of their finances, whether you want to go and train and be an instructor or whether you just want to take a class. Like, you can take a class online. It's available and affordable for people to do, even in countries where low socioeconomical countries. So, and that's the way I want it, so that it's accessible for everyone. Because every woman, every single woman and girl now, which makes me kind of want to cry, every single woman and girl deserves to have a voice, to feel safe and feel free in their body. And the only way that you can feel safe is actually if you're connected to your body. You cannot be safe if you're disconnected from what's going on and you're not present to what your body is saying. And this is why we experience so much anxiety. It's the body saying, help me, listen to me. It's the body that wants your attention. And so unless you're connected to her, you're going to keep going and operating from your head, which is how I was. I would describe myself as a head on legs.
Head on
No
legs.
body, no body, just a head on legs. So you just imagine this head walking around the world. Like that's how I was.
So tell me, Joe, the head on legs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you're very embodied, as are we,
Now,
in your body of work. You live it, you breathe it. It's not something you do, it's part of who you are, similar to Michelle and myself. And if we rewind to the body on legs, because I know there's so many women out there. There's so much more awareness now because of the things that you're doing, we're doing, other people within the world. What are what the symptoms or the cues or the clues? Because, like you said, when you were a head on the body, you didn't know. There was just probably this numbness. That's what I had. I had a numbness. I had a frustration. I was always agitated. I was always tired. The first thought in the morning for me was when I woke up, I can't wait to go back to bed tonight. But I didn't know any different. Any woman that I met that was embodied in her feminine energy, whether it be sensual or whatever, I was like so judgmental. I was so keep that away from me because it felt unsafe and it felt unnatural and it felt put on. But then when I started to meet ladies like yourself, other ladies that I've met that are doing this kind of work, I was like, oh, you're right. That is who we are at the core, and the other things have been put on top. So maybe a conversation around what that looks and feels like. So if someone's experiencing it, it may be the very first time they've heard this, and then they can hear the symptom or the experience and say, oh, maybe I'm disconnected from my body or my feminine energy. And that ladies like us, that you're everyday, incredible women, but everyday women, I'm at home with kids, solo parenting, you're doing your thing, traveling around, like you can change that in the click of the fingers instantly. But you got to notice and have awareness of your starting point and where you are. And then you get to journey and come along the journey. So I'd love to hear. And I know sometimes it's hard to access, right?
yes.
What do they think? What do they feel? What's their day? What was happening for you before you had that moment?
Yeah, great question. So the head on legs, how that looks in real time is what I think what you're asking. So how that looks in real time is you're doing a lot. Your mind races. There's lots and lots of things constantly going around your mind. And you're doing a lot. You are not necessarily getting the results that you want as such, like to the level at which you want them. You're getting
Or is that, can I add an addition to that? In my experience, it was I was ticking the box and I was getting the goal, but it felt good for half a day. And then there was this emptiness again. So I was
yeah,
getting the result, I was getting the outcome, but then I just felt empty and it was like I craved the next thing. So I'd
yeah,
be like seeking and searching
yeah.
externally.
At a higher level, yes.
Yeah.
On an everyday level, how it looks is what I'd said. It's
Hmm.
like you're doing a lot, and but you're kind of like you don't feel like there's an agitation in you. There is an agitation. I felt irritated. I was snappy. I'd snap at my husband. He just asked me a simple question. I'd be irritated if I got a phone call in the middle of doing something and even if it was someone that I loved, and then I would answer the phone because I'm trying to do a million things and be irritated and annoyed, right? And then exactly what you said, achieving your goals. Like I achieved so many things. And I remember leading my very first class. I remember it so clearly. I came home, I was turning down my bed. It must have been a hot night, and I was turning down the bed. And I remember talking to my husband and going, like, what's next? Like I was already on to the next thing. And it was like I wasn't even happy. I hadn't celebrated. I hadn't done any of the thing about what I'd actually accomplished. And it was something that I'd been working towards for over a year. And so, for those ladies that are listening, for those women that are listening, it's like if you've achieved a goal and then felt unfulfilled, like and still felt like, is that it? Surely there's got to be more to life than this. Like that was my saying. Like I
Yeah.
show up every day to work. I'd make really good money, and I'd have to literally walk from my bedroom into my office, and I'd be sitting there going, surely there's got to be more to life than this. I was
Oh,
largely
yeah.
unfulfilled. Um, but there's two different things going on here. So one is like the experience of being disconnected, and the disconnection also leads you to not feeling that true sense of like peace inside, which is what leads to gratitude and inspiration and fulfillment.
Yes. Oh, I love this. That you described it so well. The language that I heard you and I recognized it in myself from back when I used to experience that. What's next? Tick off what's next. No fulfillment, no meaning. And the other thing you said that resonated with that old version of me was, is that all there is? That was one of my defining moments, and I caught the reflection. I had the suit on, the stupid pointy toe shoes that like cram your feet in there, matching bags, suitcase, balancing things on my head back in the corporate world, ticking all the boxes. And I just caught the reflection of myself in the mirror, just a random morning, coffee in the hand, Blackberry, remember the Blackberry? And I thought to myself, is this all there is? Because if it is, I don't want to be part of it anymore. And so that was the defining moment for me many years ago, which is when I started to do my books. And well, I had went through depression and a bit of shuffling there, but then books, podcast, because they helped me so much. I was like, because they helped me, I'm going to be the woman who does this for someone else, which was the drive between, for getting up to 258 in my podcast here with you, creating a platform for you to share your experience and your modality and what's possible for women, for being up to my fifth book now with 30 co-authors, creating a platform for 30 women to feel that safety that you've talked about, to express their true self, to help more women. So wherever you are, whoever's listening to this on this journey, you may just be starting out as a head on legs. You could be deep in the work or the type of work that we do. And this is what Joe's sharing. And I think that the sense I get from you too, Joe, is like that's the first step. And there's probably lots of others in between. But what I see really contains that is the sisterhood. So if we can feel safe in our own body and have that clarity and that connection, the way that you described it so beautifully, what's available to us from that space? So when we find the right people, we start doing yoga, kunyin, attending retreats, reading books, doing the podcast, whatever it is that supports you to connect in. What's possible from this place? Now, your experience, what you get to see on the day to day with ladies like Michelle, because I got to see that firsthand. And I did a testimonial for you at your Melbourne event, and I think I ended up bawling because I was like, because you and your courage and Kunyin changed her life, it therefore changed mine. So it changed and transformed our life. And because we're community leaders of leaders, being deeply connected to our feminine essence, it's not always perfect. It's a like a flow in and out and round about. And sometimes we nail it and sometimes we don't. Like it's just, we're still human, but you changed our life. And now we have the ability, because of the courage you had and because of what you've created, to share this feeling that cannot be marketed, that can barely be articulated because it's felt. We get to share that with other women. So thank you, first of all. And it is, it's not like sad tears, it's the felt sense of sisterhood, knowing that you're out there doing your work, committed to your mission. You've got a beautiful husband. Hi, William, if you're listening, who's like got your back and you've got his back. Like we're really changing paradigms and timelines and so much. So if someone is interested in feeling this safety in their body, this safety with other women and sisterhood, where would you, anything you'd like to say or direct them to somewhere? Because, like I said, and I'll say it again, it's really hard to articulate. It's a felt sense.
Yeah. It is a felt sense, and I'm feeling you and I'm feeling your emotion. And you're right, it's not a sense of, and for those that are listening, if you might be feeling it too. And it's hard to put words on it, but it's I would say it's connection. Because what I was feeling was you connecting to the impact that this work has had on your sister that you love, on you, and then on your family, and then on the community of women that you serve. And that's exactly why I do what I do. And it's also about knowing that, see, many of us know we can do it on our own. There's
Lone wolf energy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I've been there,
a
done
sense
that.
of like, there's a sense of like, well, I know that I can do it on my own, but how cool would it be to do it with others? Like, and have that energy. And that for me has been more rewarding. Like, that for me is part of what drives me. Because I remember being at, I've been on holidays and I go, oh, I wish so and so was here. I wish my girls were here to experience this with me. I've been at courses and go, oh, I wish this person was here with me, that they could experience this too. And now I get to create that for women, because what we do is we travel all over the world. We've done immersions in Crete, we've done them in the UK, we've done launches in Kuwait, like, and we're going to Bali this year. So it's like we do, like, it's happening. And the feeling that you get, like, so we know how to do it on our own, but what is it like, or what could it be like if you could do it, to do what you love to do and learn and grow and be connected and go about creating your own business, because you're still doing your thing, but there's other women doing their thing at the same time. And with that energy, everybody rises. And that's
Yeah.
the kind of thing that I think you experienced at the She Moves Society event that we had in Melbourne. It's like, what I really wanted to create was the opportunity for women like yourself and Michelle and now other instructors to share their experience. Everyday women just doing amazing things and transforming their life. And that's what the event provided. An event that not trained speakers, like the girls are not trained speakers. But when you speak from your heart, from your lived experience, that's what's felt. People feel it. And people, quite frankly, like, not the women that are coming, they don't really give necessarily too much of a crap about what you know, but who are you? Right? Because
Are you? Yeah.
people can know a hell of a lot, but if you are, I'm not going to say insert expletive here, right? Then what's the point?
And I
But
think people are so attuned to that right now. Is so many speakers that can perform, and the difference being that connection and that authenticity. We had a branding strategist call yesterday because something we have not been able to nail is our branding, because it's all the things we're talking about here. It's connection, it's sisterhood, it's rising up, celebrating each other and cheering for each other rather than condemning and criticizing like what's happened in the past. And my experience of that is, once again, through the She Moves Society event, the events we run, the retreats, is our brain cannot comprehend what is possible when we join forces with your boundaries and your groundedness. When you join forces with someone and come to the interaction with the energy of what can I give? How can I support her? For no recognition, for nothing other than connection, love, and care. Got goosebumps again. Our brain can't comprehend because it's beyond brain work. This is like energy. This is legacy stuff. This lives beyond my body, beyond the lifetime of my body, and turns into something far beyond what I can articulate or what I can say. It's shared throughout the community to be handed down for generations to come.
and that comes with women that own themselves fully and completely. So when a woman knows who she is and she comes into those spaces with other women that know who they are, there is no competition energy. Because when you know who you know that you are a beautiful and unique piece of art that's created in the most magnificent way, and nobody is you. And when you own that part of you and you bring that, and then she brings that, there's none of this, oh, she's my competition. There's none of that, because you know who that you are.
You're allowed to swear on this podcast.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah,
You
you
know
know the
what
fuck
you
who you
are,
are. Yeah. And
right?
I like to add to that because we were joking at the beginning how we met at Tony Robbins. We've both done Tony. We love Tony. And there's a period of time there. Daisy thought she was Tony. I dressed in black. I wore the thing. I did what he did. I modeled his behavior. And I pedestaled him and I thought he was great. He changed my life. And then one day I thought, you know what? Even Tony Robbins is great. But something I'm better at than Tony Robbins is being Diane McKendrick. Tony ain't got shit on me. If, you know, so stop trying to be Tony or be that other woman or whoever it is you value and aspire. And let's celebrate them and Tony or whoever it is in all the glory that they've got to offer. And then really turn that inwards and go. And I ask myself regularly and consciously, how can I be more of me? How can I express more of me, even the parts I don't consciously know yet? And I get that when I hang out with ladies like you that are the embodied, like the embodiment of their work, it's osmosis. It's like a gift that's given and can't be seen. And I walk away or I'm in the interaction, even with this podcast, and I feel something, I feel different. And it can't be put on a spreadsheet, it can't be written about in a book. It's once again, it's felt.
Yeah.
So, becoming part of these communities, there's things that we can consciously choose and do, like the modalities of Yin yoga, come to retreats, whatever it is that you want to do, and get into those rooms full of people, like as we're talking, like not just physical rooms, energetic rooms of women who come to and then therefore men as well, who come to the interaction with what can I give as opposed to what can I get. And yeah, similar to what you said, that raises the frequency in a way that can only be done together.
Yes. Yes. And when we give ourselves permission, like yourself and myself, when we give ourselves permission to show up as ourself, you unconsciously give that to others as well,
Yeah.
consciously or unconsciously. Because when we give permission for us to be ourselves, then they also have permission for them to be themselves. And that's the kind of spaces that we create.
Yeah, so true. I do have a question.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of lingering around there. I'm trying to think back. Okay, so here's the example. Some ladies that are listening to this may be feeling, I did for a little while there, intimidated by women who really own themselves and their expression because it can be quite confronting when someone sets a boundary, when someone's standing in her power, when we haven't been brought up or been around that. So I do
Mm.
remember days where I felt a little intimidated and confronted. And other than continuing to show up and just notice and love that part of myself and give myself the permission slip, is there anything else you can add for ladies that may be listening to this and it's a bit beyond what they've experienced before, or they're starting to walk into rooms where, like, with ladies like yourself, with ladies like me, like, how can they really land in their body with their own self-expression and find that grounding other than us choosing the permission to do it for ourselves?
Yeah. Well, great question. And so, firstly, the fact that you might be feeling a little discomfort is like a gentle nudge from the universe going, hey, there's something to see here. There's something for you here. Because most likely, people don't put themselves in rooms with people like us for no reason. There's a reason why they're there. And there's a reason why you're seeing it, and there's a reason why the discomfort is arising because there's something inside that wants to be seen or acknowledged. And until you quieten your mind and actually get out of the head and down into your heart, you won't know what that is. And you'll continue to run the narrative or the story that that's not for me, that that's okay for them. I don't want to be like that.
She's a bitch anyway.
I couldn't be like that. Who wants to be like that? Rah, rah, rah. But whatever that voice is saying, yeah, is something that's holding you back from being more of who you really are. Because you wouldn't be feeling that discomfort if it wasn't hitting some edge.
Yeah,
And
the
so the women in this who listen to this podcast, they're not here to just like shrink back from that edge. They're here to like push into it, to lean into it, to expand into it. And if you're feeling that, there's something there for you to see or experience or to see. what's going on inside of you. And the only way to do that is to quieten this and to align this being your head, I'm pointing to my head, and come back into your heart and let them both be in alignment. And we're even going to do a practice like that at our event on the Gold Coast at the end of March. You know, you will actually get the lived experience. So this is not your typical networking event, is it, Di?
Nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it.
This is going to be something that you experience. It's an experience that what we're bringing. So you'll be able to experience the feeling that we're talking about. You'll experience what it's like to be out of your head and into your body. You'll experience sisterhood, and you'll also experience what is possible when women come together for a greater cause.
Yes, yes. And in the lead up to that, the ladies that are listening to this, if you could even just imagine for a moment, for a second, for a minute, that voice stopping and being with your breath and in your body. That's where it started for me, was just breath, because there was always something going around. So just breathing and focus on my breath. And then when you're in a room, physical, energetic, or online with other women who are showing up in their breath, there is no words, there's no judgment, there's just space. And I truly believe this is what women, like you said right at the beginning of the podcast, that's the essence of who we are, that space and that flow. And there's the next dimension when we share it together. You can get it by yourself in your room, but when you're in the room of other women and then eventually men, because this work gets to expand, then something absolutely magical. And you mentioned earlier, I don't know if it was on the podcast or as we were chatting before, but you said the word medicine. And that really resonated with me, because traditionally we speak about medicine being the drugs you take to stop the headache or whatever. And you know, through this journey and through this body of work, I've realized that there's medicine available to us every single day. That's the breath, that's sunshine, that's kunyin, that's dropping into the body, that's community. It's all the things that have me land in my body momentarily or sometimes for a more prolonged period of time. And that's accessible to every single person. Well, I don't know if this is true, because I know you work with people in third world countries. But for us over here, most of the time, it's accessible to every single one of us at some point. And then just touching on a bit of a change of direction, the third world countries, Joe, because you do Kuan and take this medicine and magic all over the world. Would you like to share, I don't know if it's the right time, but your collaboration with other companies in terms of supporting the young women in the third world countries through human trafficking and all that horrific stuff? Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, yes, I can share. Last year I was approached by somebody who's creating programs for the young girls that have been freed from trafficking, including sex trafficking, in Southeast Asia. And I have to admit, it was something that I had not done before. But I have the modality of Kunyin, and I could see how it works with so many women around, hundreds of women around the world. So I was like, okay, so I've got an incredibly gifted group of women around me. So I got a lawyer that prosecutes sex offenders in the UK. I've got an instructor who it teaches young children, who's a school teacher and a trauma-informed therapist. And I've drawn in all of the women in the community, and we created a team of women to write a program that we could amend or tweak Kunyin that it would be suitable for young women in this situation. And really what it was is we want to help them release and to calm their nervous system and to release any trapped and stagnant energy and emotions that are in their body through movement. So, and in a fun and playful way, in a way that is playful, that's empathetic. And we used a specific model to create the methodology behind the teaching, and then we delivered it, and we trained the social workers and the women in the homes so that they could be prepared and we could educate them as to, like, if you see this, this is what to expect. I mean, they're working with the girls every day, so they know. And we did that, and then we delivered our first 6 week program, and we saw the girls go from feeling like being very erratic, from disruptive, not focused, laughing with each other, giggling, wiggling, knocking each other, and, all of these things, to falling asleep at the end of a class, to slowly moving their body. And you could see that they were going at their own pace, just with the roll of their neck, letting go of the tension that they've held in their throats from not being able to speak or voice, or not having a voice. They particularly love that movement. They love the meditation. They said that, one of the girls said, she goes, the meditation makes me feel calm and the dancing makes me feel happy. And that was a really beautiful thing, because that's what we want them to feel. We want them to be able to feel like little girls again, to be able to feel calm and happy. Like, who doesn't want that? And so from there, I was like, and I had personally been funding this to support to pay for our instructors and to make everything happen. And then I was like, well, I want this to be like, the girls kept saying, like, we want to do this every day. Can you do this every day? And I'm like, well, we don't really have the capacity to do it every day. This is what we've got, like, we need to share this. So that's how the She Moves Society and the Marici collaboration started, because we can see a real need to take this further to more homes. We've expanded already out to Cambodia as well. So we have Nepal and Cambodia. And we can see this expanding out even more and helping even more girls. And with the way that the world is right now, there's so much talk about all of the horrible things that are happening, the atrocities, the horrible things, the darkness, let's just call it, of the world right now. And many people are focused on that. But one thing I learned, and I write about it in my book, with the law of polarity, right? Where one exists, the other also exists. So polarity is like two sides of the same coin. So where there is extreme darkness, guess what, everybody? The opposite also exists. Where do you want to focus? Where do you want to give your energy? Because I know what I want to give my energy to. I want to give my energy to healing these young girls so they can feel free, so they can be little girls, so that they can go on and do whatever they want to do with their lives, that they can have a normal life. That's what I want for them. And they can be free of this. So that's why we created the She Moves Society, so we can raise awareness and money and contributions so that we can keep our programs going. And the girls also keep asking us, they like, we want to see you in person. We want to see you in real life. And so we are going to be taking a group of women, a very small selected group of women, to Nepal in November. So that's also available if anybody is interested in coming with us to Nepal. We will be releasing that at the She Moves Society event. And there's only going to be 8 places available, obviously, because of the nature of what we're doing, and also, the sensitivity around it as well, and to honor
Yeah.
and honor these beautiful girls. So
Oh,
that's what we're doing.
beautiful. So taking young girls who've had the history experience of human trafficking or sex trafficking, they've been then put into a safe house. They've been rescued, put into a safe house, and you're coming in with Kunyin and your modality to support them to feel safe in their bodies as part of their healing journey, so they can be children again, they can feel safe again. Oh, that must really fill your cup. Like,
really
Oh, that's
does.
all.
I just kind of want to cry. It really does. Like we're focused on the aftercare. So
Yeah.
yes, Marici organise, they do the all the things that they do, the investigations, the freeing and all of that, and the prosecution and the court cases and things like that. And we do the aftercare. So we're part of a bigger picture. We're just a small part once a week where we go in and we teach the girls, but it is really a highlight of their week. Like they really do look forward to our classes and you know, they don't always show up like, oh, rainbows and unicorns. No, you know, like sometimes they show up and they're in their feels, they're in their emotions, they're in
Especially after what they've been through. Like some of the most horrific things our brain couldn't even like comprehend. And they're only little, they're little girls. Oh,
yeah. We have had young girls as young as 8 in our class. And
wow.
seeing them, they're still little girls. You know, they're still little girls and they are survivors. They are survivors, and we need to keep seeing them as such and seeing a bright future for them
Yes. Yes,
because
yes.
that is what's possible.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So
Mm.
the She Moves Society has been created in support of that charity and giving little girls their lives back. The next event is on the Gold Coast on the 28th of March. So if you're listening to this prior to that, you can get your tickets. We'll drop the show in the show notes. We'll drop a link for people to get the tickets. It's a 5 hour event. Do you want to tell us a quick little bit about the event because that's also supporting the charity and the funds or a
Yeah.
portion of the funds are going to that. So yeah, tell us about the event in case anyone wants to come. And then if people are listening to this after the 28th of March, any other events are coming up or how they can donate and support this cause and movement.
So the event itself on the Gold Coast is going to be heaps of fun. We've obviously got our guest speakers, which includes you and Michelle. And we've got Linda Holland and Yvette from Melbourne who will be coming up to speak as well. And they're, you know, they've been Kunyin instructors, but they're also leaders in their own communities and amazing women who are really making a difference in so many areas. We're going to have our DJ. We're having a music experience. So there'll be dancing, there'll be fun, there'll be sharing. There'll be also a live panel. So where we get to actually have the audience interact with our panel and ask questions of them about their journey and receive like their wisdom from each of the women that are on the panel. And there's also going to be a silent auction and the opportunity for people and our sponsors to be a part of it as well.
Oh, I had something to talk to you about that. I'll have to do it after the call, after the podcast. I had an idea. So people attend this event or ones in future because you're going to have another one in Melbourne soon. How are women going to feel at the end of this event? Like I shared a little bit earlier when I was doing my testimonial, it was like, oh, it was like such an opening for so much possibility and love and care and kindness. As the founder, as the leader of you've run it, what was your observation of how women feel at the end of that event, if you can articulate it? Because I know it's also a felt sense.
Well, seeing the smiles on their faces, like seeing that they were like, I want to do this again. This was fun. Like, when was the last time you actually had fun? Like, and you didn't have to worry about chasing after a child, dealing with something else, dealing with whatever. That's why it's 5 hours. It's like it's a whole day for you to like get away, to escape, to come, to be with putting all those things to the side. So for me, to see the freedom in women, like being them dancing freely without people worrying about what
Oh, yes. You know what
had
I loved?
them.
You know, when people, and it happens to me too, when you first get there, you're dancing a bit like a robot. And by the end, it's just like, woo, like you find this space and this movement in your body that you didn't even know existed. I'm 45 years old. At that last event, I was popping some moves. I was like, I didn't even know my body could still get into that shape. But there was this loosening that came and this, like you said, freedom and this joy and this space. And then to be witnessed and seen and shared with other women and watching them and witnessing them as well, like come in quite rigid with a bit of a, you see this at the retreats, people coming in with a bit of a tick and like really uptight because they've been, like you said, running around after kids. We got cats and fish now. I'm solo parenting. Gus has moved to Perth for a period of time. So I'm like, oh, yeah, 5 hours of freedom. You get fed, you get really nice food.
Well, yes, and oh, did I mention it's at like one of the most beautiful hotels, like, and the newest hotel on the Gold Coast called the Mondrian, which is like it's a gorgeous, gorgeous high-end hotel with
Yeah.
the most incredible food. So, and everyone's going to be served the most beautiful food. We're going to have an amazing time.
Yeah, so come along. I still got some tables left, some seats left at my table as well. So we're going to fill out a table. If you want to sit with me, please DM me and Michelle, let us know. And then if you're interested in sponsorship package, there's always options for that as well. If you want to come and experience the event and bring a bunch of girlfriends or bring some people from work or bring people, you can also order your own table, which is a really good way to do it. So thank you,
Absolutely.
Joe, so much.
And if it's after the event, you can just go to the Kunyin website, which I can click as well, and you can donate if you want to support the girls as well. Like we'll ex lovingly accept, any donations to be able to support the girls to continue their healing journey.
Yeah, okay. So I'll put that in the show notes as well. If you can't make it to the event, but you would like to donate, can click on that link and you can make a donation. My daughter Esme, who's nearly 12, I pay them. If they invoice me, I pay them. And we talked about contribution. She flicked through her money last week because I told her about the cords and the little girls and the things you'd told me. She handed over $40 for the donation. So that's be going into Kit. I'll click the link and make sure I put it through. She handed the money. I was like, this
Oh,
is so powerful. And as a mother, I had my own stuff to move through because I speak about contribution and contributing in different ways. But then to see my daughter do it, I was like, oh wow, this is something really special and different as well. So yeah, I'm going to sit with her. Actually, I'll add it on my thing to click the link and she can actually go and put through the donation.
yeah.
So
How
cool.
special is that? Because it's just so beautiful. There's contribution happening everywhere. You're contributing to her. She's contributing to the girls. You're contributing to her education. You're contributing to her social and her social consciousness of the world. It's just beautiful. There's contribution.
Speaking of contrast, you know what the contrast was? Ross, my son who's 14, he's just turned, I'll just be totally transparent. He's like, what is it? A scam? I'm like, oh my God. He's obviously heard a conversation somewhere around the blocks that, whatever it is, charity or this, that, or the other, of I've said something or Gus has said something, and he's like, nah, don't believe it. Need to see evidence. I need to see evidence-based stuff. And I was like, okay, that's fine too. That's the contrast right there.
That
So
is.
thank you so much, Joe, for everything that you do. Thank you for sharing time and space today to share on the podcast. Any final wise words of wisdom before we finish up here?
Mm. Well, I don't know about words of wisdom, but what I would say is like, if you feel like, if you are listening and you felt like that feeling of surely there's got to be more to life than this, and that's a familiar feeling, connect with us. And however which way that looks for you, whether it's joining something online, that die run, or joining the retreat, or coming to see us on the Gold Coast, or joining our portal, or taking a class of Kunyin, whatever it is, do something.
Yes, and I'll
Follow your
second
heart.
that. I will second that. I can be quite masculine at times, and I'm calling it in now, very direct. Do something. Take action. Reach out to Joe. All of her details will be in the show notes. Reach out to me, even if there's a little bit of like Joe said, lean into that edge. We're here. We genuinely care. And there's so many other women who genuinely care. So take that action, how big or small it is, it's perfect and it's enough for you right now. We would love to meet you in person at the event, but there's so many online options, the retreats, the books, everything. There's everything. We've built it for you. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you the same time, same place next week. Wow, what an episode. Now here's the thing, knowledge is power, but action is where the magic happens. So if today's episode lit a fire in your belly and you're ready to cut the crap, do the thing, and step into the woman you were born to be, then I've got something special for you. Join us inside the Rich Lady Revolution, the membership. It's your next level support system and soul-powered strategy space to redefine what it means to be rich. Rich in profit, peace, presence, and power. This is your invitation to experience what it's like to be fully supported and deeply connected with a world-class coach and a community of high-caliber women who get it. Women just like you. Women walking the path of aligned success with no more burnout, no more sacrifice, and absolutely no more hiding. Inside, you'll receive weekly accountability, rich conversations, and real-life tools to evaluate your income, your impact, and your inner world, all for just $149 a month with no lock-in contracts. So if you are serious about stepping into your rich lady identity, redefining success on your terms, and making meaningful money without losing yourself in the process, head over to www.thosetwosisters.au/membership, or come join the conversation on our Facebook page, The Rich Lady Revolution. Your next level isn't just calling, it's right here, waiting for you. Trust me, your future self will thank you for it.